And in my asking for special help, see, that's what's beautiful about being intercessor in this land of the enemy. The super plane between, the rules of engagement of the warfare are such. I get it to understand from what the Spiritist priest had said and from what I read in the Bible and writings of Ellen White, that God depends on us tremendously to ask for help for others beside ourselves. Because when we do this, then the Spirit of God and His angels can move into Satan's domain and legally take care of a lot of bad situations. But if we don't ask for this help for ourselves or for others, Satan and his angels says, hey, you have no business being here, get back there.
Right.
You're ours, you know. So, and as I was praying that the Lord would make these people better, and get them out of here if it wasn't going to be, within a few days, to get them out of this hospital and give them a second chance, to be able to draw nigh to them. And I said, Lord, I don't know these people's name, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to pray that you will every day. I'm going to pray that their sins and iniquities be forgiven them, and that you would appropriate to them the merits of your sacred blood shed on Calvary for their salvation. And Lord, I promise I'm going to be doing this for a long time. And I said, you give them a chance, give them another chance. And things blew up wild. It went wild. It went terrible. More people were having distresses and perplexities and difficulties. And then the nurse got over the loudspeaker. She says, I need more nurses, come and help. And all of a sudden, a man in Unit 9 by the name of Mr. Smith, his heart stopped. And when the heart stops, something takes place there at the nurse's station. Either it's a buzzer or a light. I don't remember what it was. But anyway, the nurse said to all doctors, please come and help. And she would give some kind of a code.
Code blue. At least here it is.
Yeah. So anyway, the 3 doctors came rushing in right into the door was set so that the Unit 9 was right in front of the door. They came right through there, right in there. They had the resuscitator at the other end of the unit. The nurse had ran to get the thing. They worked on this man for about 10 minutes. And one doctor came out and he says, he's gone. You'll never bring him back. And what happened, I said to the Lord, dear Jesus, before I die, I would very much appreciate that you would let me see the power of your resurrection at work by causing the heart of Mr. Smith to be started up again. And Lord, that you make it well and that he be able to live a number of years, because Mrs. Smith cries all the time. See, Hilda was in that little waiting room, and Mrs. Smith was there also, and she had told him, she said, my wife said that I have a praying husband, and she said, could you have your husband pray for my husband? So I said to the Lord, please, let me see the power of your resurrection. Immediately a shout went out. There was 3 nurses in there in that room, 2 doctors, and then Mrs. Smith told me 4 days later, when I talked to her and her husband on the cardiac floor, that the nurse had just pulled a sheet over her husband's head when he sat up in bed. He sat up in bed, and the women, even Mrs. Smith, she said, I couldn't help it, and just whatever she did, So anyway, he said, what are all you people doing here? Well, the doctor said, well, you were having a little trouble with your heart. We were trying to help you. Oh, he said, I have no problem with my heart. He says, my heart is good, but I need some food. I haven't eaten here in 3 days. And Mrs. Smith, I told Hilda that her husband had decided he wanted to die. So he hadn't eaten for 3 days and not even drank, Didn't even drink for 3 days. He wanted to die because he had enough of this business with the heart, So he lived 5 years after that.
And I understand he became a Christian after that, is that right?
Oh yeah, and from what I gather, yeah. And their daughter, from my gather, read my book, A Tribute to the Supernatural.
So we still see resurrections, don't we?
Oh yeah.
God does that.
Yeah.
Now, what is a lot of people here may want to know, what is your favorite passage in the Bible? Do you have a favorite?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to talk a little bit about my personal relationship with Christ in order to explain this. You see, after I became a Seventh Adventist, I was working in the shop, and the unions were coming in. And they were going to force some people to work on Saturday because of some special arrangement that they had. And I told the boss, I'm sorry, but I have to quit this job. The difficulties are getting too great for me because, they had to come to my place, and I tried to bust the door down once, and I had enough of that. And that's before I was married to Hilda. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't good. So after we got married, Hilda and I, in 47, I decided that I was going to give up the plane, which it is, and go into selling. Now, let me tell you something. My dad was a businessman, had trucking, transport from New Brunswick to Montreal, Quebec, and in sales, made a lot of money. But I couldn't sell ice cream in July, That's how poor I was as a salesman. So I said to him, when I was growing up, I said, never in the world will I ever be a salesman. And I said that to myself many times. But once I got this thinking about this, and I was looking for jobs in Montreal, I said, when I give this job up, I better go into sales. So I told the Lord, I need to be able to keep the biblical habit of creation. I need your blessings. In sales, you'll be able to control things. So that on Sabbath, I can go to church and thank you for the glorious experience of seeing your Holy Spirit work so that Roger Morneau can make a living in 5 days and be able to be in church on Sabbath with his wife and the child. We had a little boy that came up another year later after that, 48. So the Lord started to work in my behalf. I was what you would call, my boss said when he said, you're a silent salesman. Because I was with the Yellow Pages for about 20 years, selling telephone directory advertising. It's a tough business. Because you can go to people that spend tens of thousands of dollars on radio and TV and newspapers and magazines and billboards and all kinds of other things. And when it comes time to list their names in the Yellow Pages, they say, all I need is a bold type. Everybody knows me. And you can never sell and display advertising. But I talked to the Lord before I went to this business and said, Lord, you are able to create within the hearts of people a desire above anything else they've ever desired in their lives to buy big ads from Roger Morneau so that I can make money, pay my tithe, help with some offerings and be able to be in church on Sabbath and have money left beside. And that's what the Lord did for me.